Well, hello there. Good afternoon. It is a beautiful, actually a little bit overcast afternoon here in Western Pennsylvania in the middle of the summer. I'm not sure what time of year it's going to be when you're watching this, but it's being recorded in the lush green of June here in northwestern Pennsylvania from the deck of my log cabin home. I am Coach Carl. You can also call me Pastor Carl. That's what everybody calls me because I am not only a coach, but I am a pastor and a Christian counselor. I'm also the principal of a Christian school. I am a man that wears many different hats. But I just wanted to come on here today just to sort of introduce myself to you and give you a little bit of background about me, tell you a little bit about my story and my tremendous transformation that it has me in front of you and has me inviting you to come and join me in becoming healthy physically, emotionally, and spiritually, what I call my body, mind, and spirit training. Because I believe that God has created us uniquely, just like He exists in three persons. One God, three persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I believe that we as human beings, His creation, that we exist in three parts too. We exist in the physical realm, that is our body. We exist in the emotional realm, our mind and our emotions. And then we exist in the spiritual realm, our spirit that connects with the Spirit of God. And we are certainly made in God's image, as it's foretold in the book of Genesis, all throughout the scriptures in the Old Testament, as well as the New Testament. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to share with you is just a little bit about me. Again, I am a pastor, I am a counselor, I am a principal, and I am a health and fitness coach. I'm a life coach. And I didn't get here all at one time. In fact, my life has been a constant change. It has been constantly filled with development all through my life. From the time I was born up until the 57 years that I just turned on May 16th of 2018. But anyway, one of the things that's happened over the years is I have come to grips with a lot of the pain, a lot of the frustration, a lot of the bad choices that I've made in life. And I realized that those bad choices that I've made in life had some consequences. And one of the consequences was I became addicted. I've identified over the years 3 different addictions that I've had. I have had an addiction to pornography, which by the grace of God, I had been sober from. I identified it at 43 years old. So in October 2nd of this year, I will have obtained 14 years sobriety from that addiction. I've also recognized that I use alcohol in an addictive way also to relieve stress. And again, by the grace of God, I've been sober from alcohol not quite as long, since March 31st of 2012. And I am also a food addict. I am what would be called an emotional eater. I use food for comfort, and because of that, I have suffered with weight problems pretty much all my life. And it came to a head a couple years ago when I was pushing over 330 pounds and I had all kinds of health problems. I had high blood pressure, even on medication, and my doctor kept increasing the medications. But even on the medications, I was running a 145 over 95 on a good day. On a bad day, it was more like 150 over 110. The medication would not keep it down. And the doctor indicated to me, my family physician, that I was a stroke or a heart attack waiting to happen. And I needed to take some things seriously. Not only that, but I had borderline high cholesterol. At that stage of the game, my blood sugar levels were pre-diabetic, to the point that the doctor was almost considering putting me on medication to bring my blood sugar levels down to a more acceptable level. Well, after that doctor's appointment, and this was a couple years ago, it was pretty much about 3 years ago, and after that appointment, something really dramatic happened in my life. Within a year's period of time, 2 very close friends of mine, same age as me, passed away unexpectedly. One because of kidney failure, from an infection that he did not get help with quick enough. And the other was actually in really good shape. I mean, he was running 5K races, and he had spent some time in Israel, and he came back and was running his first 5K that he had run in a long time. It was in the middle of January. It was cold. I don't know how much that affected it, but anyway, he dropped dead of a heart attack in the middle of that race. Two friends of mine, same age as me, in much better shape as me, but they fell dead. Okay, now I recognize, and one of the things that God impressed upon me and convicted me is the fact that we never know what's going to happen. I mean, you know, there's certain things in life we can't control. We can't control the weather. I can't control even when I'm looking both ways, crossing the street, whether it's walking across the street or pulling into traffic. I can look both ways. I can make sure that I have plenty of time. But if the other driver's not paying attention, I can still get hit, and I could get hurt, and I could fall dead. I could get hit with a bolt of lightning. I can't control that either. I mean, there's so many things that I can't control, but one of the things that God impressed upon me was there are certain things in life that I can control, yes. And one of the things I can control is my health and fitness, my spiritual well-being, my emotional well-being, and my physical well-being. Well, I had started, like years before this, I had started taking care of the of the spiritual and the emotional well-being. When I identified the other two addictions, I got help. I went heavily into 12-step recovery. I found groups that would help me to recover from that specific addiction, and I found help and I found healing. I also went through a period of counseling to get help with some of the emotional problems, because as you know, people don't just choose to be alcoholics because they like alcohol. People don't just choose to be to go to pornography just because they're just because of the lust of the flesh. We all have that, but there's usually more. When someone becomes addicted, there is much more to it. They are using addiction to fulfill a specific need. Usually it's a hole in their heart, using its emotional need that I believe can only be fulfilled through Jesus. It can only be filled through a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now that's my belief, and that's what I teach, and that's what I preach. And I believe that as we rely on His strength and we follow the biblical principles, which the 12 steps of recovery truly are based on biblical principles, we learn how to connect with God in ways that we never have before. We learn to trust. My shirt here says trust. Actually, the whole thing says trust the process. Yep. And we learn to trust in God, and we need to learn to act out in faith. And I was working on that. I was working on the spiritual. I was working on the emotion. But the one area that I wasn't working on was my physical well-being. And I decided, okay, enough is enough. The other two parts of my life are going pretty good, but something's still out of whack. So I better take care of the physical. So I started taking care of the physical. And as a result of that, I today sit here having lost 112 pounds, still have a little over 20 pounds to go to reach my goal weight. I'm stronger than I have been ever in my life. I'm in better shape overall than I've been since I was in my mid to late 20s. My blood sugar levels are not only acceptable, but they are great. They are in the above average range, which I can't remember the last time my blood sugar levels were in the above average range. My blood pressure is fantastic. As a matter of fact, my blood pressure, my doctor kept reduced over this 2 years that I've been working on my physical well-being. I've been losing weight and working out and getting healthier. One of the things that's been happening is the doctor has been gradually reducing my medication, and he had lowered it to pretty much as low as he could go. And in August of last year, he looked at me, he took my blood pressure, and it was like 102/60, something crazy like that. He said, I think you can go off the medication. Let's take you off the medication. Let's go a couple months. Let's see how it goes. Went off the medication. October, went back. My blood pressure obviously went up a little because it was down as low as it was because of the medication. And so now, as a result of all of those wonderful things, now my blood pressure is running right in the range of 115/68, usually somewhere between 65 and 70. 115/65 to 70, that's doing pretty good. My cholesterol is above average. So everything is great, and I'm medication free, and God is good. So lots of good things have happened in my life, lots of great transformations. I believe in working on a process to daily take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I call it my body, mind, and spirit training. And one of the processes in that is the Miracle Morning, which I'm going to be sharing with you in another video. And I'm going to give you my blueprint for how it works, my schedule that I use. I'm also going to give you some recipes for the bulletproof coffee that I drink each day. As part of my Miracle Morning, I drink warm lemon water, which helps with the digestive process. I'm gonna give you a recipe about that too. I'm even gonna talk to you about a healthy shake that I use, and I'm gonna give you some insight on the ingredients in it and possibly how you can go about getting that. But the most important thing I'm gonna be teaching you is how to start your day right. How to start your day in a way to give you the opportunity to accomplish the most that you can accomplish in the day. And it starts out by taking care of your needs, physically, emotionally, and spiritually in what I call, I didn't coin this, I call it my Transformation Miracle Morning. And it came from a resource, a book, by a man by the name of Hal Elrod, which is called The Miracle Morning. So I'm going to tell you all about that. I'm going to also give you, like I said, I'm going to give you my blueprint, my schedule of what I use for my Miracle Morning. I'm also going to give you your own template that you can use to create your own Miracle Morning. And I am going to give you a couple recipes to my warm lemon water that I drink every day, and I'm also going to give you a recipe for my shake, my healthy shake that I drink every day, and I'm going to give you the recipe for my bulletproof coffee, which helps me get into ketosis, which also helps me to continue this weight loss process. So all of those things are yours, and you know what? They're all free. There's nothing you have to buy to get this. There's no obligation whatsoever. You're going to get the video of mine that's going to explain all this. You're going to get the PDF files and all of those fun things, and all 100% free. And all you have to do to get that is just drop me in the form that's below here. I want you to drop me your first name and your email address. That's it. Give me your first name and your email address. I'll send you all that stuff free of charge. And then you also have access to my blog, in which I give helpful hints about how to live a healthy life, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, every day of your life. So that's all yours. All you have to do is enroll by giving me your first name and your email address, and you're golden. You'll receive an email with everything that I've promised. So one of the things I want to tell you is something I tell people each and every day. That is this: your attitude is your choice. So this day, as with every day, choose to have a fantastic day. God bless you. Bye-bye.